This is Ironman training with POTS and type 1 diabetes, week 12. Let's go. This week it was 4 bike rides for 150 miles, 2 runs for 21 miles, and 3 swims for 7,050 yards. Oh yeah, and 2 bike crashes. The crashes weren't as dramatic as they sound. Both of them were really just a result of inexperience with the clip-ins. Also, just having to take the bike just slightly off the path, even just a little bit, completely messed me up. And then, I stopped. I tried to break loose. I was unable to. Down I went. The second time, though, actually hurt me. Not badly, but the bike came down on me. My calf got really jacked up. I was still about 5 or 6 miles away from the car. I mean, I couldn't even walk last night. So it's pretty swollen and dinged up today. I was in a Facebook group yesterday and somebody was talking about biking, what kind of bike they should get as a beginner. And somebody said, one you don't mind dropping a couple of times. So I'm hoping that I'm just not the only person who doesn't know how to quite navigate these things. But it just goes to show you, anytime you're taking on a new endeavor as a beginner, you're still going to go through all of the beginner things too. It's not just about POTS. It's not just about diabetes or overcoming things. All beginners have to suck in the beginning. All beginners have to learn something new, and that's how you become intermediate. It's how you become advanced. It's how we improve. It's how we progress. It's how we develop. The more willing you are to suck at something new, the more likely you are to be good at something new. There were a few other hiccups too. There's a station, there's a park about 30 miles away from my car where I was planning on refilling my water. And when I got there, the plumbing had been ripped out. There was no water. So it's really lucky that it wasn't a hot day, but I still had to somehow make that other water bottle last another 40 miles. Other than that, and the crashes, the ride actually went great. I did 70 miles in 3 hours, 59 minutes, managed to get by on my 2 liters of water. I did use a honey stinger gel about every 15 to 20 minutes, and that was barely keeping up. I used Tailwind in one of my water bottles, and then I used BPN in the other. I am still concerned about fueling during the race. I mean, I'm taking a lot of gels and then barely keeping up. And then when I get off the bike shortly thereafter, there is a bit of a crash. So to think that this time when I get off the bike, I need to immediately get in on the marathon means I need to find a way to fuel better. Maybe I need to embrace the reality that I need to treat transition more like a refueling opportunity instead of another obstacle to get through quickly. When I do a Spartan, when I do an ultra, I set everything up so I can get in and out of transition in minutes. It's just grab your gear and go. I think in this case, I might need to be prepared to, eat something, drink a Tailwind before I hit the road. Just like in the swim, which I'll talk about that in a minute. I think that's going to be the way to go. So that way I can just stay ahead of it the whole time. I would much rather spend this day up in the low 200s than I would in the low 100s. That said, when it comes to the swim, I need to stop looking at this like a problem. Every time I race, I almost fast. I would much rather start my day with a low blood sugar so that I can fuel directly before the race. But what I never want to have happen when I'm running is starting my run at a high blood sugar. It just makes me sluggish, makes me feel like my heart's going to explode. It can't possibly be healthy or good for me. That's not true for the swim. All right, this is going to be like an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 45 minutes, I'm guessing here, of just low heart rate, sustained effort. And so I'm not worried about doing damage. I'm worried about going low. So this is not a problem. This is an opportunity because I get to eat breakfast. All right. On Friday, going to the pool, I had 2 slices of pizza and then a honey stinger on my way to the pool. And it was barely enough. So I get to actually eat a full breakfast here, and I will just go into the pool the day highly fueled, highly prepared. The sugar will slowly burn off over the period of those 2 hours. I won't drown. I'll get out. God willing, I'll have a little fuel left. And then, like I just said, I'll refuel in transition, hit the bike. And I just have to prepare to do the same thing for the marathon. So, you know, the second step of overcoming any obstacle is we have to own the circumstances. And that means to accept and embrace the things that are part of our reality. As a diabetic, for me to keep my blood sugars up and sustain the effort that I need to for this race, I simply have to prepare a little differently. And that, like I said, and I'm not going to dilly-dally, but to not treat transitions as a race for me at all, but as the goal of transition for me is to properly fuel for the next phase of the race. And however long that takes, that takes. Let's talk about the pots. It really wasn't much of a factor this week. And I mean, that's not to say that it wasn't a factor in my life. I mean, I almost passed out 1,000 times already today. But I even made a comment to a friend that my run on Friday, I ran just over 10 miles both on Wednesday and Friday in an hour and 50 minutes. I haven't had runs like that in years. And so there was no POTS impact, and it was very cold. Well, not cold. It was high 40s, low 50s. It was really ideal running weather, and so sweat really wasn't an issue. I didn't even have to carry water. You know, I felt like a normal person for like 5 seconds. The only reason my run total was so short is because of the bike thing yesterday. You know, I could barely walk yesterday, so I didn't think it was a good idea to go pounding out 15 miles today. Good thing about triathlon is there's always something you can work on. So I went and got in the pool instead. But running has been going great. If it could stay this temperature year round, that would be amazing. However, the race takes place in May, and it's probably going to be 85 degrees or more. It's going to be 100% humidity. It's just going to be a regular Florida day. So unfortunately, while I'm enjoying running in this weather, I need it to heat up because it ain't going to be 55 degrees on race day. And so if it's going to be miserable, if it's going to be in hell, then I need to train in hell. I was successful in getting strength training sessions in both Tuesday and Thursday this week. Again, it really just looks more like a PT or rehab routine, which is fine because I am Humpty Dumpty. Can't tell you if it's working on technique or anything like that, but I think at this point, most of the concern is injury prevention as I add more volume. And just a reminder, I'm hurt this week, not because of overuse, but because of simple stupidity. To be honest, the lesson this week, 12 weeks in, is that all the things I'm talking about here are just regular training concerns. Even this nutrition plan I just discussed isn't a novel idea. I think any athlete will tell you that you don't wait till you're hungry to eat. You stay ahead with your nutrition, you stay ahead with your fuel, and everybody has different nutrition and fueling needs. So there, it took me 12 weeks of training for an Ironman to be able to say that I am just training like a regular athlete. The way that you train for an Ironman with POTS, the way that you train for an Ironman with diabetes is just like any other athlete trains for an Ironman. And just like anything, it's not about the race, it's about the mindset. It's not the challenge, it's the way that we look at it. Big highlight this week again though is swimming. On Friday, I did 3,800 yards in the pool. I did 500 yards of drills, and then I did 3,300 yards continuous swimming. That's like 1.9 miles of continuous swimming. This is something I didn't know human beings alone were capable of, let alone something that I was capable of. And you know how it started? With just one stroke, with just one session, because that's how we accomplish anything. Anything we ever thought that was impossible, that we're able to achieve, starts with just a first action towards it. It's not just keep swimming, it's just start swimming, because that's it. Find out where you suck and learn how. My first session, I couldn't make it 150 yards without swallowing half the pool. And so then I took the time to find out what I was doing wrong and what I can do different. I started training, I started practicing. I made it something that I can attain, something that I can objectively improve upon. And I'm still slow, but you know what? I'm gonna make that distance. It's the difference between telling yourself that I can't because and I'm going to. And that's the difference between I'm going to and I just fucking did. So it comes down to what it always comes down to. How much time will you spend on it and how bad do you want it? And so the other modification I had to make this week was that I arrived at the pool on Monday to find out that they were closed. Ooh, they were cleaning it or something, fixing a pump, I don't know. But anyways, I was able to get a 10-mile bike ride in with my wife that morning. So it was an awesome way to start the week and something different. And I think yet another benefit of this experience is the activities and ways that you get to spend time with the ones that you love. And a quick health check. I haven't weighed myself. I'm still thinking I'm down about 178 to 180. My A1C is still at 7.1. My 90-day blood sugar is at 158. So we're down like 5 points since we started. We have spent 4% time more in range than we did previously. And now that I kind of figured out about this whole timing of my swimming thing, I'm taking considerably less insulin, since there is at least 2 days a week where I'm having a full meal, like a protein shake where I have like 85 grams of carbs, and I'm not taking any insulin at all. So fuck off, pharma companies. That's what's up. 55 days till Ironman Jacksonville. Let's go. Live inspired.